Hey everyone, welcome back to a Funky Thursday. So Bitcoin last night was trying to do something funky. It tried to go above the 28,600 mark. It did that. It went up to 29,190 roughly. So I think it was just trying to fake out some of the shorts that were in the markets, possibly to have them capitulate and sell and buy into Bitcoin. So we'll look at what's going on with the markets. The markets were up today. Bitcoin was, well, it was up earlier, but now it's down today. Ethereum is also down a little bit. It's actually up right now. We'll take a look at what's going on there, along with the miners. Miners were mixed a little bit today. Then we have a couple of stories to talk about here, just really two stories. We got some adoption news, which is good. Fold announces exclusive global partnership with Visa. And then we got to just talk about Terawulf's reports, fourth quarter and full year 2022 results, and provisional operational updates. So we'll take a look at all that information. We don't have all the data for the full results. I'll explain it all, but so we'll get into everything here. And as always, you guys know the drill here, not financial advice, for entertainment only. Please do your own research, and I'm invested in the following coins for full disclosure. And if you enjoyed this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe. It helps me out tremendously. So let's get into the markets here really quick, see what happened today. S&P was up 0.57% today to 4,050. Dow Jones was up 0.43% to 32,859. NASDAQ was up 0.91% to 12,963. Bitcoin right now, excuse me, just changed over to the new day, so it's showing that it was up a little bit, but it is actually down. If we look at it, it's down today 1.14%. So it did reach 29,190. This was pretty much right after I recorded the video yesterday, uploaded it to YouTube, and then Bitcoin just kind of spiked to 29,190. Some of you guys have commented in the comments, Bitcoin going over 29,000. I did say at the time, that's great, but we'll have to see if it actually will stay above our resistance line, which was at 28,600. It did not. Kind of what I was expecting here. So we had a little bit of a fake out from Bitcoin, trying to get the bears possibly to bite and sell, capitulate, and get into Bitcoin, cover their losses a little bit, but that didn't really happen here. What happened was the opposite. We actually came down afterwards. So if we look at the 1 hour chart, we can see here that Bitcoin yesterday did touch our support line or resistance line here a couple of times. So we had it once, twice. We did it, well, really high here. We went really nice up to 29,190. Then we fell back down right after that. And then we battled with it a little bit here a couple more times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I guess 8 more times on the hour chart right there. Probably did a little bit more on the 15-hour chart, but we're still battling with that. It got rejected from that. So we've touched it a couple here times. In the daily chart, the 1 hour chart as well. And like I said before, the more times we touch it, the likelihood of us possibly falling lower is there as well. So looking at the RSI here, let's take a look at the daily RSI first. RSI on the daily has come down here to approximately 62. Price is higher than where we were back here, which is good. And the RSI is also lower. So that's a good sign there, which I think is kind of what we really want to see is RSI come down a little bit more. Price could possibly come down as well, but we want a little bit of a relief in that pressure there to where eventually we do have that potential to go back up higher like we have done before in some of these moves that we've had here where price was coming down here. Price was actually going up higher. We did come down here. We got pretty low on the RSI and then we bounced off of it. So that was good there. Kind of the same thing what I'm kind of waiting for to happen as well this time around. If we look at the 4 hour chart, RSI is at right now 52. Last time we were back here roughly, and price at that point was actually a little bit lower. So we are still a little bit higher on that one as well, which is good. In the 1 hour chart, you can see our size at 44. Last time we were back here roughly, price was at that point lower also. So we're still looking pretty good here, okay? Not much to complain there. As far as we look at, let me see here. Oh, one of the things that we may be touching here shortly, this is kind of where I'm thinking we might pull back to would be the 200 weekly moving average. And that's about right now at 25,572 roughly. We may come down to that, bounce off of that, and then that would be great. That's kind of what I'm expecting to happen, but we'll see if it happens. Okay, so that was Bitcoin, and I didn't want that. I wanted to turn that off. Okay, so Ethereum here on the day. Let's see here. Why is that not loading? It's taking a while for it to load. Why isn't Ethereum loading? Well, that's not good. What's going on here with the app? Did I just lose internet? Oh, there we go. Okay, Ethereum is back. Okay, so Ethereum was up slightly today. If you look at the daily chart here, you can see it was up 0.02%. So it was definitely on the downside most of the day here, but it finally squeezed out a little bit of a win here towards the end of the day. So it closed at 1,783. We did hit a high here of 18. Well, no, we didn't hit a 18. We hit a high of 1,829 on it. RSI is still looking pretty good on the daily chart along with the 4 hour chart. And let's see here. Looks like either Mainnet is acting up or trading view is having issues, but RSI on that one is 56 right now. Last time we were back here and the price at that point was a little bit lower, so we're still looking pretty good on the 4-hour chart. Look at the 1-hour chart as well. We can see the 52 for the RSI. Last time was back here. It's a little bit higher on the price, so we're pretty close to that right now. Okay, so that's it for those guys. Let's take a look at the miners here right now. And the miners, let's put this on the daily chart so we can see what's going on. We can see ANY was up 0.65% to 34%. Argo was up 5.81% to $1.64, so Argo had a pretty good day. BitDigital was down 2.05% to $1.43. Bitfarms was also down 2.41% to 92 cents. Cypher was down 5% to $2.09. And CleanSpark was down 1.11% to $2.67. Cores was up 3.07% to 28. DigiHost was up 5.26% to $1.60. DMG was down 0.96% to 22 cents. Greenidge was up 3.06% to 40 cents. Hive was up 1.59% to $3.20. Hut 8 was down 1.69% to $1.74. Iris Energy was down 0.67 to $2.98. Marathon was down 1.51% to $7.83. Boston was down 2.04% to $3.12. Riot was down 0.98% to $9.14. Soluna was down 5.54% to 28 cents. Stronghold was down 4.86%, or sorry, down. No, they were up 4.86% to 64 cents, almost 65. And Terawulf was up 2.2% to 79 cents. So there's all the miners. Like I said, it was pretty much a mixed day on those. Bitcoin being down, Ethereum being up a little bit, and the markets were up today. So that's our news on the miners and the markets. Let's take a look at the network hash rate here. It has come up a little bit. I just refreshed this a couple minutes ago. We'll refresh it again here. See if we got any changes, and we haven't. Right now, we are in the 7-day at 349 million. And on the 1-day, we have come back up a little bit here to 342 million terahashes per second right now. Okay, so let's get into our first story here, which is going to be pretty quick, and then we'll get into Terawulf, and we'll talk about all their financial results. So Fold announces exclusive global partnership with Visa. Fold is aiming at bringing its Bitcoin rewards card product to users around the world through this expansionary partnership, which I think is good. So the more we get adoption of Bitcoin and everything else, I think that's a good thing for us. So Fold, the Bitcoin rewards company, has announced that it will collaborate with Visa, which will become the exclusive global network partner for Fold's prepaid debit products in North America, Europe, and Latin America countries. The move aims to expand the reach of first Visa co-branded Bitcoin rewards debit card, launched in the spring of 2020, to more Fold users worldwide. The announcement comes as nearly 1 billion in transactions have gone through Fold since the launch of the Fold Visa debit card, and users have been rewarded over 30 million in Bitcoin since the launch of the app. So that's really good there. And if this is something that works for you, might not be a bad deal. Get rewarded in Bitcoins. That's kind of cool. Fold CEO Will Reeves said, in order to meet the growing demand for Bitcoin on-ramps outside the United States, we're thrilled to expand our engagement with Visa. We believe that Bitcoin can be a powerful tool for people all over the world to take control over their finances, and we are committed to making Bitcoin as easy and accessible as possible for everyone. Don't know how to pronounce this guy's, I don't know if it's a guy or a gal. Coy Sheffield, head of crypto at Visa, commented, we believe that digital currencies will play a role in the future of financial services and money movement. We're excited to work with Fold to create new ways for consumers to spend and engage with digital assets. So I thought this was kind of cool, just a little bit of adoption story, keep things moving forward. And we're seeing things moving forward as well. They're moving sometimes a little bit slower than we would like, but they are still moving forward, which is great to see nonetheless. Okay, so that's it. I didn't have any flood news today, which is good. We talked about Elizabeth Warren yesterday and her bill, so that's out of the picture here. We'll see how that one goes. But let's take a look at Terawulf report here. So Terawulf reports fourth quarter and full year 2022 results and provides operational update. We'll go through this relatively quickly. And here's what we got from them. So full year 2022 and recent operational and financial highlights, and I'll give you guys my thoughts on this as well. So they generated revenue of 15 million and self-mined 524 Bitcoin in 2022, which is great. That 15 million also includes some hosting, I believe, in that as well. And that's one of the numbers that I was looking to find out more on, but that information is currently missing. I think they're going to provide the full audited fiscal year 2022 numbers here, hopefully overnight into tomorrow. And if they do, we'll go over that as well. But we do have some numbers for them nonetheless. So they commenced mining at the company's wholly owned Lake Mariner facility in March 2022 with operational capacity of 60 megawatts and a fleet of 18,000 miners. comprised of 13,000 self-miners and 5,000 hosted miners as of February 28th, 2023. So we already know about this information, but nonetheless, it is good information from them. And then they commenced mining at the Nautilus crypto mine facility in February 2023, which is a joint venture with Cumulus Coin LLC and the first behind-the-meter Bitcoin mining facility powered by 100% nuclear power in the U.S., with operational capacity of 25 megawatts and a fleet of 8,000 self-miners as of February 28th, 2023. So that's good there as well. And then they achieved a total self-mining hash rate of 1.4 exahash as of December 31st, 2022, and a 2.6 exahash as of February 28th. So they had a nice increase there in that 2-month span of time, representing an increase of 86% in just 2 months, which is true, which is great to see them doing that. And that's definitely going to help them become a little bit more liquid, I think, going forward. They've had some troubles with their cash piles, debt, things like that. So we'll take a look at all the numbers there. They also restructured miner purchase agreements with Bitmain, unlocking substantial deposits and completing the procurement of miners needed to fully utilize 160 megawatts of mining capacity. So that's good. They entered into a beneficial debt restructuring with existing lenders to eliminate principal payments and defer amortization to April of 2024 with the ability to extend cash flow sweep mechanisms to maturity. So that's great there. That kind of gives them a little bit more, it gives them basically a year to kind of catch up and hopefully kind of catch their breath a little bit here while they are still expanding, growing. And then with Bitcoin going up in value, I think that's going to also aid them in kind of, helping out with their balance sheet is what I'm trying to say. Okay. They raised the final amounts of growth capital needed to achieve 160 megawatts and 5.5 exahash of Bitcoin mining capacity across its 2 facilities, which the company expects to be fully energized in Q2 of 2023. So within the next basically 3 months, which is great. Management commentary, I'm not going to get into that. You guys can read that. Production and operation updates. Let me see, here it is. Fourth quarter and calendar 2022 financial results. We'll dive into this really quick and then we'll look at the numbers that they do have. So revenue in the fourth quarter of 2022 increased 146% to 9.6 million compared to 3.9 million in the third quarter of 2022. Not sure if the 9.6 million also, I think it includes hosting in there as well. And that's why I'm waiting for the breakdown of what was hosting, what was mining, the self-mining, because I have them at a much lower number than that. I have them at 5 million something, where other 5 million or 6 million? 6 million something, I believe I have them at. But we'll take a look at the numbers. So when that gets updated, we'll update you guys as well on this. So the increase is attributable to the significant increase in mining operations at the Lake Mariner facility following the August 2022 energization of Building 1, which is 50 megawatts, and bringing online capacity at Lake Mariner from 10 megawatts to 60 megawatts, and the introduction of a profit-sharing component to short-term hosting agreements. So that kind of helped them out there. Cost of revenues as a percentage of revenue decreased to 55% in the fourth quarter of 2022 compared to 134% in the third quarter of 2022, primarily driven by improved miner fleet efficiency and the normalization of unusually high NY ISO Zone A energy prices. We obviously had some pricing spikes during that time frame as well, and things kind of normalized in the fourth quarter as compared to the third quarter. Cost of revenue for the full year 2022 was 11.1 million, or 74% as a percentage of revenue. So it's still pretty high there. Cost of operations in the fourth quarter of 2022 increased by 46% to 17.7 million, compared to 12.1 million in the third quarter of 2022. The increase in cost of operations was primarily driven by higher depreciation expenses and higher selling, general, and administrative expenses associated with scaling mining operations at the Lake Mariner facility in the fourth quarter of 2022, which is okay, but they got to watch those costs, right? And I think that was it here. Yeah. So these are the numbers we're going by that they provided here for ending December 31st for their full year. And the thing that I'm looking to find out more on was on the revenue here. So the revenue they provided was basically 15 million. I wanted to see a breakdown of it. We don't have that breakdown. It only goes into context down below. So I don't think we have the full information yet. Once that information does get provided to us, I will update you guys on this to see exactly what they actually had for self-mining versus hosting mining, which I'm only using the self-mining to run my numbers on. Okay. The reason for that is because I think that hosting is just not as profitable as self-mining is. Now, so let's get into the numbers here. We'll walk through this a little bit here. So like I said, I have them at 6.8 million here for the revenue for the fourth quarter. They came in at 9.5 million. Like I said, I think a lot of it is from hosting as well, attributable to that. but that's why I want to see it for sure. That's what we got. And then we'll update that number here when we do get it. And then we'll talk about this as well. So we're not going to talk about this number here. We'll just take a look at their financial results, see if there's any improvements or if there's any bad things going on here. These, as you guys know, are all of my metrics that I calculate here based on the numbers that they provide. And then let's take a look at their assets. So fiscal year 2022 ending are going to be the same thing as basically the ending of Q4. So we're going to look at those numbers here. So cash and cash equivalents was down to 1.2 million from 4.4 million, it looks like. So that's not good there. We also have restricted cash went down a little bit, not much, from 7.2 to 7 million, so that's fine. Digital currencies increased a little bit to 183,000 from 60,000, so that's fine. Prepaid expenses went up a little bit to 5 million from 3.1. Amounts due from related parties was 0. Other current assets went down to 543,000 from 1.1 million. And then total current assets is only 14.1 million compared to 16.1 million. So that is a decrease. And you can see that kind of decreasing here over the quarters going from Q1 all the way through Q4. Other assets, equity and net assets of investees went up to 98.7 million from 76 million, but it's down from its high of 123 million. Property and equipment is also up here, well, down from Q3, 191 million from 202 million. And then rights of use is down a little bit from 11 or from 12.1 to 11.9, so about 200,000 roughly. Other assets went down to 1.3 from 2.7. So total other assets is actually up to 303 million from 293 million, which is good. And then total assets is 317 million from 309 million. So total current assets helped them out with, even though they had less in total current assets. Okay. Excuse me. Liabilities. So accounts payable has increased here and it has been coming up here over the quarters. We're at 21.8 million from 18.2 million. Accrued construction liabilities has come down to 2.9, so that's good there. Other accrued liabilities has gone up, unfortunately, to 14.9 million. And we've seen that pretty much bouncing a little bit here, was at 8.6, 6.3, and then 10.2. And now up again here in the fourth quarter. Share-based liabilities due to related parties is up to 14.5 from 12.5, so that's not good. Other amounts due to repeated parties, 3.2, so that's also up. Contingent value rights is pretty close, up a little bit, 10.9 from 10.5. Then we got current portion of operation lease liabilities is up a little bit, 42,000 from 41, not a big deal there. Insurance premium went way up here from Q3 for some reason. So it was 2.1 million here, it looks like. And let's see, yeah, 2.1 million in the fourth quarter compared to 130,000. And then minor exchange, nothing there. Convertible promissory note went down here to 3.4 from 11.9. Current portion of long-term debt went up to 51.9 million from 34, so that's not good there. And current liabilities held for sale is 0. So total current liabilities is 126 million. That is an increase from 105 million that they had in Q3. And we've seen that going up here over the quarters as well, from 52 to 97 to 105 to 126 now. Operating lease liability net current of portions, pretty close to where it was, 947,000. Long-term debt, 72 million here. So that's down a little bit from the 81, so that's good there. Total long-term liabilities is 73 million, and then total liabilities is up to 199 million compared to 188 million. So that has gone up as well. So that's not good there. We'd like to see that be, paid down, become lower. Total stockholder equity, I'm not going to get into it. So revenues, here we go. Revenue for the quarter, and the way I'm calculating this, they provided the full fiscal year 2022 numbers of 15,033,000. I'm taking that, subtracting the prior quarters, the first 3 quarters, and getting the number for Q4 here. So 9.5 for the fourth quarter. Cost of revenue was about 5.2 million. I'd like to see a breakdown of that as well. That's why I'm waiting for the full report that they provide. Gross profit was about 4.2 million, which is good because that's an increase here from the negative that they had in Q3. Cost of operating expenses went up to 349,000 from 261, so that's still not too bad here. Second quarter was the worst, 148,000. Operating expenses related party, I think this is for the hosting part of it, so that's 436,000, so that's down from 603, so that's also good. Selling and general administrative went up to 6.5 from 5.9. Slight increase there, about 600,000 or so. And then selling general administrative expenses related party, which I think is for the hosting part of it. that went up a lot, 5 million from 2.9, so almost 2 million on that one. Depreciation also went up to 5 million roughly from 1.5. Depreciation, we know it's the miners are going to get depreciated nonetheless. Let's see here. Realized gain on sale of digital currencies was negative 1 million. Impairment of digital currencies was 1.3 million from 119,000. So that's an increase there. And then loss on that one was 0. So total cost of operations was 17.6 million from 12.05 million. So an increase there, but they also increased their mining fleet, everything else. So we expect that to go up a little bit here, but we still want to make sure that they are mindful of administrative expenses, general selling, things like that for both their own and related parties as well, because that combined is basically $11.5 million that they're spending on that, which is a lot compared to that they only made 9 million here on total mining revenue for it. Okay, operating loss was negative 13 million, it looks like, and then other operating expenses, which was interest expense, paid a lot in interest, 7.9, almost 8 million on that one, which is up a little bit from 7.2. Loss on extinguishment of debt, that was a new one here, was negative 2 million, and then loss before income tax was 21 million negative. Then they had some equity, net loss of invested was negative 1.1, so loss from continuing operations was negative 22 million. Loss from discontinued operations net of tax was 420,000 negative, and then net loss total for that was negative 22.8 million, and then preferred stock dividends 252,000 negative, and net loss attributable to common shareholders is calculated as being 23.1 million. So that is down actually from the third quarter, which is good, but still up from the second quarter as well. And that one. And then net income per share loss for the year, they lost 78 cents, or 82 cents for basic and diluted. And for the fourth quarter, they lost 18 cents, which was better than the third quarter of 32 cents on that one loss. Okay, so that's all the numbers that we do have here. Now, based on the numbers that we do have here, we're looking at how much they mined BTC for the fourth quarter. Looks like 292 based on the numbers that I have for them. They reported 524 Bitcoin mined in the fiscal year 2022, so we're using that over here to get some numbers. And it looks like for the fourth quarter, they mined per exahash about 355 BTC, and for the full year was 637, which was pretty good. And then cost to mine one BTC, everything included including the kitchen sink, was 78,000 basically. The cost to mine one Bitcoin, negative, that's not good. But if we take out depreciation and some of the other things like that, they come up at 18,000, which is a lot better. They say that they're at 3.5 cents average price per kilowatt hour. That should be, I think, a lot lower, but we do have other costs in here as well. But that's kind of where they're at, 18,000. So Bitcoin being above 20,000, they should be profitable as long as they can get rid of some of the other costs in there as well. And it's 21 million for the full year per Bitcoin, or 21,000, sorry. Enterprise value is 136.5 million right now, so that has increased from Q3, which is good. Debt to equity ratio, that increased, which isn't good, is 1.69 and was 1.7. And then the current ratio is 0.11, which has decreased from the 1.5. So they are in financial trouble right now. Like they said, that they had restructured some debt they're not having to pay until next year. That's going to help them out. They also raised some cash as well. So I'm guessing those numbers should improve for the first quarter of 2023. Once we get those numbers in the next 6-8 weeks, we'll see, hopefully we'll see an improvement there as well. Book value of 117 million compared to 121, so that's come down here a little bit in Q4. Price to book ratio is 1.159 compared to 1.12. Enterprise value is 136.2 million. It's pretty much the same where it was in Q3. And then a beta, so that's net profit plus taxes plus interest plus depreciation and amortization. That came in at negative 9.7 million still. So they're not even profitable if you look at just a beta on it. Revenue, like they stated, was 9.5 million. General administrative expenses, we're looking at basically just their own part of it. If we add the other parts and the related parties, it'd be like 11. So then that would be actually a negative number there for those two. Okay, so that's it. Overall, they are doing the right things. They are getting miners installed. They are growing, which is good. They also have restructure some of their debt, which is also good. They need to do a lot more. But with Bitcoin going up in value, they're able to mine more. I think that's going to help them out as well with the revenues that they're going to generate each month, as long as they can mine pretty much every single day. They don't do a lot of curtailment. If they can do that, it's going to be great for them. That will help them kind of pay off some of this debt that they do have and hopefully get into a much better position with their balance sheet. Okay. Once we get the numbers for the Q4 as far as what their self-mining was, we will go into this spreadsheet here again, and we'll look at where they actually came in and how close I was to that number of, I had them at 6.8. We'll see how close I got to it based on the numbers that they provided. And then we'll look at what we're actually looking at here as far as what their potential could be, where I see them at being currently, and then going forward as well. Okay, so that is it. And you guys know the drill here. The spreadsheet is available to all my Patreon members there. So that's only $4 a month. You guys have access to all this spreadsheets, all the data that I keep on all these miners. And that gets updated pretty much anytime we get an update from any of these miners. Okay, and thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think of what's going to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow is just going to be the last day of the month, which means we also have the Bitcoin options expiry happening tomorrow, which I think is like possibly if Bitcoin goes up to like 29,000, stays there, the bulls could come out ahead, I think a couple $1 billion ahead. So we'll see how that's going to play out. And then we'll see how we get into April, right? Is it going to be an April Fool's for us with Bitcoin, or is it going to be actually a great month for us? All right, so that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. And I'll see you guys in the next one.